Okay, I'm going to feature the 1968 Topps baseball set. This is going to be a redo of a video I did earlier. I didn't include all of the cards, so here we go. We're going to start off with this batting leader cards with the great Roberto Clemente and Matty Alou, many times hitting 300. Tony Gonzalez, also an excellent hitter. And that's these are all from the first series of cards from that set. Okay. So there's the batting leaders from the American League. This is the Yuri Yastrzemski won the Triple Crown. There he is with two other Hall of Famers, Frank Robinson and Al Kaline. Awesome card there. And we go to one of my favorites, the NL leaders, with three amazing Hall of Famers. One of my favorites, Orlando Cepeda, and of course Clemente was incredible, and Henry Aaron, the all-time home run king. Very beautiful card. One of my all-time favorites. There's the 67 RBI leaders. Of course, Yastrzemski again leading as he, like I said, won the Triple Crown. And with, again, two more Hall of Famers, Killebrew and Frank Robinson again. Very, very cool card. So now we're going to go to the National League home run leaders. Again, loaded with Hall of Famers led by Henry Aaron, Ron Santo, the Cubs, and Willie McCovey. And squeezed in there is Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon from the Astros. So to complete the Yastrzemski Triple Crown, there's the home run leaders from 67, along with Killebrew again, and the Capital Punisher, Frank Howard. Man, that guy was a beast. He could hit the ball a mile. He's got some great stats. They'll never let him in the Hall of Fame, but man, that guy, he's got some big, big power numbers. Gotta like him. Okay, now we're going to go to some pitching leaders. We got Phil Niekro, Hall of Fame, Jim Bunning, Hall of Fame, and Chris Short of the Phillies. Now we got the strikeout leaders of 67. Three Hall of Famers again, Bunning, Jenkins, and Perry. 67 is the year Gibson broke his leg on a line drive from Clemente, so he probably would have been in there, but no, he did not. Okay, now we get to the base cards. Brooks Robinson, Hall of Famer for the Orioles. Very cool card. Gil Hodges, Not a Hall of Famer, but he's got great numbers, played on all those great Brooklyn Dodger teams from the 50s. They were just loaded with great players. And this is the year before he managed the Mets, the amazing Mets, Miracle Mets, whatever you want to call them, to the World Series title, beating the Orioles in 5 games. There's Hall of Famer Joe Torre. And Hall of Famer Billy Williams. Beautiful card there. Another great card from the set, Denny McLain. The year he won 31 games. That was his first of 2 Cy Young years. It was 31-6 that year. 1.96 ERA, I believe. Okay. Next we got Tom Seaver. That is his 2nd year card. Okay. And we got Ralph Houck, manager of the New York Yankees. He came in in 61 when the Maris Mantle home run chase happened. And one of my favorite cards from the set, Willie Mays. Awesome card. That is definitely one of my favorites. Then we got Philippe Alou. I just think that's a good looking card. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a longtime manager as well, and had a very distinguished career in the big leagues. Here's Hall of Famer Eddie Matthews. So that was his last year in the major leagues. He finished up with the Tigers, was injured a lot of the year, but did manage to play a couple games in the World Series against the Cardinals, and that was his last card. Jim Northrup, center fielder for the Tigers, most famous for hitting the triple that blew the game open in Game 7 of the World Series, and he'll always be remembered for that, that's for sure. Second year card of Rod Carew, Hall of Famer. Probably my favorite position player, probably my favorite hitter, I should say. When I was growing up, I was a big fan of his. Liked his style. He could bunt, he could steal bases, slap the ball around. He'd hit for power. He just he did it all. He did. Famer spitballer Gaylord Perry. And Willie Stargell. Beautiful card. Love the pirate uniform there. Great color on that card. Okay. Alright. Here's Hall of Fame manager Dick Williams. There he is with the Red Sox. Most famous for managing the first two Oakland A's championship teams in 72 and 73. He had enough of Finley, the owner, and he left. After winning 2 World Series, he left. And Alvin Dark took over and won the 3rd World Series. But he ended up managing a bunch more with San Diego and a few more. I can't recall off the top of my head, but he is a Hall of Fame manager. Okay. And my favorite pitcher of all time, the great Bob Gibson. Love that card. Even though there's not much to it. There's Don Sutton, another Hall of Famer. And here is the checklist with Juan Marichal on it. So that's the end of Series 1. I am going to show you what happened after Series 1 and what Topps did to change the look of the card. Well, that's a side-by-side. You can see on the left, the border is definitely it's more bright, and the brown is definitely more, there's more white, let's just put it that way. I prefer what's on the left to the right, but the last, every series after the first series looked like the one with Henry Aaron. The first series, that's the only one that looks like that, was Stargell. So they must have got some bad feedback on that first series, but I don't know. I loved it, but I don't know why that's a little blurry. There. Okay. Henry Aaron. And we got Mel Stottlemyre, longtime Yankee pitcher, pitching coach for years and years, and for the Yankees. And his son Todd also played in the major leagues, had a fairly long career. It's Mickey Stanley, Gold Glove outfielder, who ended up playing shortstop in the World Series in '68, so K-Line could play outfield with Northrup and Horton, and they benched Ray Oyler, who could not hit, and Stanley ended up, he made 1 or 2 insignificant errors that meant nothing, and hit well and just played basically flawless in the field, and was one of the reasons that Detroit won that World Series. Hall of Famer Tony Perez, back when he was playing third base, because they had Lee May sluggingly May over at first. There's an awful card of Joe Morgan. I really don't like those hatless cards. And he wasn't even involved in a trade, and they still couldn't put a hat on him. So, don't like that card. Look at the blurriness here. Don Drysdale. His second last card. His last card will be 69. One of my favorite cards of the set. Beautiful card, Roberto Clemente. Of course, Topps called him Bob Clemente. He didn't care for it. He wanted to say Roberto, but Topps actually claimed that they couldn't fit that on a card. So, not sure about that whole thing, but he was a very proud guy from Puerto Rico, and he didn't want it really his Americanized name on the card, and it's understandable. Okay, now we're going to get into the World Series cards from that year. So this, of course, will feature the '67 World Series, where the Cardinals won 4-3 over Boston. There's Brock dominating in the first game. And we got game 2. Yastrzemski, who had a great series, hit 2 home runs, led the Red Sox to a shutout. And actually, that was the game that Lonborg only let up 1 hit, a Javier double. Okay. Alright. And we'll show one more World Series card. That is... Man, this blurriness. Okay. There's Gibson throwing a shutout in Game 4. And he will then throw a 3-hitter in Game 7 to win it. There's stolen base king Maury Wills when he was with Pittsburgh. He had the stolen base record until Lou Brock broke it in 1974. So he held the record. I think he stole that in like 62 or 63. So he held the record for about 11 years. And of course, Rickey Henderson obliterated all those records. But Wills is still an all-time great when it comes to stolen bases. There's Cardinal center fielder Curt Flood. Love that card. Favorite player of mine. Here's the third series checklist with Yastrzemski on it. The checklist from the vintage, if they were kept clean, they definitely were higher in value. Kids definitely used to check those things off. They thought that's what they were there for, and the clean ones are the ones ultimately that had the value. But as you see down here at the bottom, there's a ad for an insert in the third series, and I'm going to do a video on those cards, but those cards came in packs, and they were super cool. We used to play games with them and everything, and it was fun stuff. Okay, there's Hall of Famer Orlando Cha-Cha Cepeda. Had 3 great years with the Cardinals, and then was ultimately traded to Atlanta for Joe Torre, which ended up kind of working out for both teams, as the Cardinals kind of felt like with Cepeda's knees, and he kind of had somewhat of a down year in '68, that he was expendable. So they got rid of him, which the Cardinals didn't, the players did not like, especially Gibson. Gibson hit the roof. He basically told Bing Devine that he was nuts for making that trade. But anyway, one of the all-time greats. Hall of Famer Juan Marichal with the big leg kick. Hall of Famer Jim Bunning. Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew. Power Man Richie Allen. He has incredible stats. Many people believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. Very famous for using an extremely heavy bat. Legend has it he used I shouldn't say legend, but according to people back when he played, he used a 42-ounce bat, which is unheard of. Nobody, I think Babe Ruth used a bat that was close to being that heavy or that heavy, and yeah. So then there's the great Pete Rose. Cool card with those sleeveless uniforms. Check out, the name is actually below the number. Pretty cool. Hall of Famer Ron Santo. Hall of Famer Al Kaline. And there's your Johnny Bench rookie card. The second most valuable card in the set after the Nolan Ryan. And we got the Carl Yastrzemski. Pretty much loaded with Hall of Famers or rookie cards or just key cards in the set. Here's a rookie card of Manny Sanguillen of the Pirates. Had a long career. Still very involved in the Pittsburgh scene up there. I think he's got a restaurant, or he's got a vending restaurant at the stadium at PNC Park. Very popular with the fans. Always smiling. Say he's just a super guy. There's Power Man Norm Cash. Won a batting title, World Series title. Solid player. He one of the few people to hit the ball out of Tiger Stadium. I believe he did it 4 times, hit it completely out of the stadium. Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. Toy Cannon Jimmy Wynn. With that awful hat, painted hat. I don't get that, but for some reason Topps had to do that. And my favorite catcher of that era, Tim McCarver, Hall of Fame broadcaster, excellent ball player, played for the Cardinals, came up in '59 and ended up being traded after the '69 season. He was in the trade with Curt Flood to Philadelphia, where Flood didn't report and sued baseball, and most people know that story. There's a checklist with Cha-Cha Cepeda on it. As I see, looking at this, I should have a better copy of this because there's writing on this. Yep. Damn it. Okay. Well, there's writing on it. I wish it didn't, but there's Detroit leadoff man, second baseman Dick McAuliffe. Great long-time career. All with Detroit. I think he finished up, I believe, with Boston. Hall of Famer Willie McCovey. Cardinal manager and Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst. He was with the Cardinal organization for, I want to say, almost 70 years. There's the Capital Punisher, Frank Howard. That dude was huge. I believe he was like 6'8", 6'7", 255. What a power hitter he was. Hall of Fame manager Leo Durocher. The great Roger Maris. The only card of him actually in a Cardinal uniform in '67. He was traded in the offseason, so the '67 card of him with the Cardinals is hatless. Which, great card, I'm glad I have it, but I'm not a fan of the hatless cards. Hoyt Wilhelm, relief pitcher, Hall of Famer. The great Ernie Banks. Willie Horton, one of the power men for Detroit. He threw out Lou Brock in Game 5 of the World Series to be one of the huge turning points of that series. Brock didn't slide, and he would have been safe by a mile if he would have, but he didn't. Sporting News All-Star of the great Henry Aaron, all-time home run king. Love that card. And here's another all-time favorite. What a cool card of Roberto Clemente. Absolutely love it. It's one of my all-time favorite cards. Those Clemente cards, unfortunately, are so pricey. I'm glad I have them now because they're not coming down in price. All-Star card of Bob Gibson. Love that card. All-Star card of Orlando Cepeda. He was MVP in '67. Showing him as an all-star. And another Cardinal. Another one of my favorites. Lou Brock. These cards bring back so many memories. I remember having these as a kid. It was just pure magic getting a card like this. You remember just thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I got that. And being 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, it was just like I said, it was just pure magic getting those cards of the guys you idolize for sure. Hall of Famer Harmon Killebrew, All-Star card. All-Star card Yastrzemski. All-Star card of Frank Robinson. I was hoping to keep this video under 35 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I'm on card 360. All-Star of Rod Carew. Great card. One of my favorites. And Cardinal catcher Tim McCarver. Okay. Well, I'm going to be able to finish up in the next 5 or 7 minutes here. We got All-Star card of Brooks Robinson, the Human Vacuum. Joe Morgan All-Star. Great card, except dreadful hat. Don't like that at all. Okay. We got 11-time All-Star Bill Freehan. Could easily be in the Hall of Fame, but unless the Veterans Committee lets him in, forget it. He's never getting in. Hall of Famer Ron Santo. Hall of Famer Bill Mazeroski, famous for hitting the home run in the 1960 World Series to win it all for Pittsburgh over the Yankees. Nobody thought Pittsburgh would win. Actually, Pittsburgh got smoked in all the games they lost. The 3 games they lost, they were losing by huge margins, and Pittsburgh was squeaking by in their wins, and they ended up winning it. There's Jim Hunter, Catfish Hunter, Hatless. Hall of Famer Steve Carlton, when he was still with the Cardinals, pitching very well, developing into one of the greats of all time. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins. Mickey Lolich. Boy, if you look at his stats, strikeouts, wins, just so many great years. He had 71. He was just outrageously good. Again, he's another one of those guys. For some reason, they're gonna have reasons to keep him out, and he's probably never gonna get in the Hall of Fame. But boy, does he have some great numbers. Here's one of my all-time favorite cards, Mike Shannon. Spring training down there. One of my favorite players. Here's a checklist with Frank Robinson on it. Nice and clean. Again, there's 11-time All-Star Bill Freehan. Hall of Fame manager Walter Alston. So here's like a special card where they threw in some stars. There's the great Tony Oliva. Many believe he could be in the Hall of Fame as well. What a hitter. Chico Cardenas has some decent years. He really doesn't really fit in that picture, but somehow he got in there. And there's, of course, the great Roberto Clemente. Anything with Clemente drives up the price incredibly. That is a pricey card, and a very cool one to have. So here's the Reds' first baseman during the early years of the Big Red Machine, and this guy was, they called him the Bopper from Birmingham, and this guy could smack the ball around. When they played the Orioles in '70, he was just hitting like hell, and really had a great series, great all-time numbers. Excuse me. And he was just he was an excellent power hitter, and he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but if you look at his numbers, he does have great numbers, great power numbers, I should say. And there's my Cardinals picture of the '67 World Series champions. I had that picture as a kid, not that card, but I had that picture. Absolutely love that picture. Okay. There's the great Frank Robinson. Now we're getting to some of the higher numbers. We're getting into the last series here. Here's one of the pricier cards because he was on the World Series champions. Joe Sparma. His cards have spiked incredibly. And my favorite card of the set, Lou Brock. Now, I didn't have this card as a kid. I remember someone having it at some point, and I remember just being it was just chilling seeing it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that someone had it. And of course, it's wonderful to have it now. What a player! What a cool card! What a beautiful card! I love the colors. Just a great picture of Brock. Just an incredible picture. I threw this one in, Tito Francona. Damn, what is wrong with that focus? Okay, yeah, Tito Francona was a longtime player, and his son, Terry Francona, of course, is still managing, and he's won some World Series with Boston, and he's done well with Cleveland managing. Here's another high-priced, high-numbered card because the Tigers won the World Series. So that was that definitely drove up the price. It's a very expensive card. And here's a special card of both Robinsons. Very cool card. Both superstars, both Hall of Famers. This card, I put this in there, it just reminds me of being a kid. I just remember having that card and always liking it. I like the blue. I liked Wes Parker. So, excuse me. So here's the manager of the Tigers, of the world champion Tigers, Matt Smith. Sorry. Anyway, he was the one that got a lot of credit for the Tigers winning by putting Stanley at shortstop and getting K-Line in the lineup and getting Ray Oyler out of the lineup. So he got a lot of credit. That's an expensive card. It's in the high numbers. It's number 544. 544. Very good, very cool card. Okay. Okay, we are about done here, so we're going to do it in about 40 minutes. There is Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa, who is famous for, of course, managing the A's and the St. Louis Cardinals for many years. And the last card I'm going to show you is Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. So that's the 68 set. That's actually my favorite 60 set of all of them. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything you want me else to show you. I got plenty here, plenty of special sets of vintage, and like I said, anything vintage you want to see, let me know. Lots of stuff out there. Thanks for watching.